Here's the full script as one clean, continuous read. They drafted him. They believed in him. And now, less than one full offseason into his NFL career, Shedeur Sanders might already be fighting for his starting job. Let that sink in. The Cleveland Browns, a franchise that has cycled through more quarterbacks than most teams cycle through backup running backs, just told the entire NFL world that their shiny new rookie is not the answer. Not yet. Maybe not ever. And the name they're chasing instead? Malik Willis. A $71 million free agent. A guy most people wrote off 2 years ago. Browns fans, buckle up. Because what's happening right now in Berea is either the smartest thing this front office has ever done, or the beginning of another nightmare we've all seen before. Here's what we know. Here's what's been reported. And here's why it matters more than anything else happening in the AFC right now. According to multiple reports, Browns head coach Todd Monken and general manager Andrew Berry have gone on record stating they are looking, quote, outside the building for starting quarterback heading into next season. Outside the building. That is not coach speak. That is not, we're evaluating all our options. That is a direct, public, unambiguous message to Shedeur Sanders, to Deshaun Watson, and to every Browns fan watching, that neither guy currently on this roster has locked up this job. And the player they're expected to heavily pursue. Former Tennessee Titans and Green Bay Packers quarterback Malik Willis, a pending free agent who is about to command somewhere in the neighborhood of $71 million on his next contract. Now, before you change the channel, before you roll your eyes and say, here we go again, Cleveland chasing another quarterback who isn't the guy, I need you to actually sit with what Willis did last season in Green Bay. Because the numbers are real. The wins are real. And the tape? The tape is worth talking about. Let's go back to Green Bay. 2024 season. Malik Willis steps in for Jordan Love, a guy who just signed one of the richest quarterback contracts in NFL history. And what does Willis do? He goes 2-0. He throws for 550 yards. He throws 3 touchdowns. He throws 0 interceptions. 0. You and I both know that in today's NFL, a quarterback who can step into a cold environment, manage a game, not turn the ball over, and win, that guy has value. Real value. Undeniable value. Willis was a first-round talent coming out of Liberty. The Titans took him in the 3rd round in 2022, but most scouts had him going much earlier. The tools were always there. The arm talent. The legs. The ability to extend plays and make throws that most quarterbacks simply cannot make from off-platform. The question was always the processing. The reads. The consistency under pressure. Green Bay answered that question. Think about what Matt LaFleur's system demands from a quarterback. It demands precision. It demands quick decisions. It demands accuracy on timing routes. And Malik Willis, the guy everyone counted out, walked into that system and delivered. That's not luck. That's development. That's proof of concept. Now pair that with what Todd Monken is building offensively in Cleveland. Monken is one of the most creative offensive minds in the NFL. His system rewards quarterbacks who can move, who can improvise, who can be a weapon with their legs while also being a legitimate passer. Does that sound like anyone we've been talking about? That's Willis's skill set. That's Monken's system. That's a legitimate fit. And here's the financial piece that makes this actually makeable for Cleveland. Willis is hitting free agency. He doesn't have guaranteed starter money yet. $71 million sounds massive, and it is, but spread over multiple years with structure, with incentives tied to performance, the Browns can make that work. Especially if they're moving off the Deshaun Watson contract nightmare that has haunted this franchise for years. Speaking of which, let's talk about the full picture of what's actually being cleared out here. Because this isn't just about adding Malik Willis. This is about the Browns finally hitting the reset button on the most catastrophic quarterback decision in franchise history. But here's where it gets interesting. And honestly, a little uncomfortable. Because while the Malik Willis pursuit makes sense on paper, there are real, legitimate questions this front office has to answer. And Browns fans deserve to hear them. Question 1. What does this do to Shedeur Sanders? This kid was supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be the cornerstone. The franchise. The face. And right now, before he's even taken a meaningful regular season snap, as the clear QB1, the coaching staff is telling the world they're shopping for someone else. That is a brutal message to send to a rookie quarterback. Confidence matters at that position. Belief matters. Feeling like your organization is behind you, that matters more than almost anything else. If Shedeur Sanders is sitting in that locker room right now reading these reports, what does that do to his development? What does that do to his mentality going into training camp? You and I both know this situation has the potential to poison the well before anyone even throws a preseason snap. Question 2. What exactly are we getting from Malik Willis? 2 games. We're talking about 2 games of meaningful starting data in Green Bay. Yes, the numbers were clean. Yes, the wins were real. But 2 games is an incredibly small sample size to hand $71 million and starting role on a franchise desperately trying to rebuild credibility. What happens when Willis faces a defense that has tape on him? What happens in December when the weather in Cleveland turns and the game is on the line? We've been here before. We have fallen in love with quarterbacks who showed flashes. That's not an insult to Willis. That's just Cleveland's institutional trauma talking. And question 3. The one nobody wants to say out loud, what if this is all just leverage? What if Andrew Berry and Todd Monken are dangling Willis's name publicly to light a fire under Shedeur Sanders? To send a message? To force the rookie to come into camp with something to prove? That's a calculated risk. That's a psychological chess move. But it's also the kind of thing that can backfire spectacularly if the communication isn't perfect inside that building. That's risk. That's uncertainty. That's Cleveland. Zoom out for a second. Because beyond the names, beyond the contracts, beyond the individual storylines, what's actually happening here is something much bigger. The Cleveland Browns are redefining what they are as a franchise. For the last 3 years, this team has been the Deshaun Watson team. That's been the identity, for better or worse. And let's be real, it's been almost entirely worse. The talent around him was real. The coaching staff was capable. But the quarterback situation was an anchor around the neck of everything this organization was trying to build. Now, Berry and Monken are making the call. They're drawing a line. They're saying, we will not walk into 2025 with a guaranteed starter who hasn't earned it. We will compete. We will evaluate. We will bring in the best available option and let the best man win. That is accountability. That is professionalism. That is how you rebuild a winning culture. And if Malik Willis walks into Berea, wins the quarterback competition, and becomes exactly what his Green Bay tape suggested he can be, then this front office looks like geniuses. Legitimate, forward-thinking geniuses who identified value where nobody else was looking. But if Shedeur Sanders rises up, if the competition brings out his best, if he forces the coaching staff's hand, if he wins that job outright, then you know what? That's even better. Because then you have a franchise quarterback who earned it, who fought for it, who walked through fire in his first NFL offseason and came out the other side with the keys to the city. Either way, the Browns win. Either way, the quarterback room gets better. Either way, this franchise moves forward. That's competition. That's culture. That's Cleveland. So here's where I land. And here's what I want from you. The Malik Willis pursuit is real. The Shedeur Sanders situation is complicated. And the Cleveland Browns are about to have the most important quarterback competition they've had in maybe, honestly, franchise history. But I want to know what you think. Should the Browns hand Malik Willis the starting job outright, commit to the $71 million, trust the Green Bay tape, and let Sanders develop behind him? Or should they run a true open competition and let Shedeur Sanders prove the doubters wrong before a single regular season snap is taken? That's the debate. That's the question that's going to define this franchise's next 3 to 5 years. Drop your answer in the comments right now. I'm reading every single one. I'm responding to every single one. This is the conversation Browns fans need to be having right now. And if you're new here, if someone sent you this video or the algorithm finally did its job for once, hit that subscribe button. Because we cover this team like nobody else. We don't sugarcoat it. We don't bury our heads in the sand. We talk Browns football straight, honest, and passionate every single week. We're Cleveland. We don't do easy. We do real. Let's ride.